Hi, and welcome to Ryvis Rambles, where I talk about whatever the fuck I want. Today's gonna be unscripted, so wish me luck. Today, I want to talk about the media I've consumed in the past 4 months. Hi, again. While editing, I noticed that I talk about everything in this video with the assumption that you, the viewer, already has the same knowledge about the plot and the characters as me. So next time, I'll explain in at least one sentence what the movie, etc. is about. And I will rate them using a 5-star rating system so that the video at least provides some kind of value. Apart from my dazzling personality, of course. I actually already implemented it in this video, but I'm not talking about it. I just added the rating below the covers. There will be several categories, namely movies, shows, books, anime, manga, and games. You can use the chapter markers in the description to jump to the category that you're interested in. So let's get started. Movies I watched. First, Talk to Me. I knew it was going to be a ghost movie or a movie containing ghosts, and I usually am too scared of ghosts, but I've heard so many good reviews that I just wanted to watch it. Yeah, it was a bit spooky. Spooky enough for me to not be able to sleep for a few days. Then we have Perfect Days. I love the movie. I also made a video about this. It's gonna be here somewhere. Go watch it. Then I watched The Boy and the Heron, the new Ghibli movie. I was not very impressed. It felt like a weaker version of Spirited Away. Then we have Napoleon. It was long. The whole romance subplot with Josephine felt a bit out of place, to be honest, so I didn't enjoy it that much, but I really liked the battle scenes. Then we have Dune 2. I'm not a big fan of Dune. I watched the first one. Somehow nothing is happening, and at the same time a lot is happening. I feel we have barely any characters and then too many characters. I think it's just that some of the characters don't appear that often, so I don't remember them. I would say the second movie, I enjoyed the second movie more than the first one, but I wouldn't say it's a good movie. It's more like an experience. An experience that you can only enjoy in a cinema. I don't feel like it has the same effect if you watch it on a TV at home. And I watched this Thai movie, which I cannot pronounce, so I won't pronounce, which was also an experience. It was quite different than expected. I thought it was going to be like a fantasy or mythological movie. In the end, it was just about actors performing a stage play of the legend, but the legend also wasn't in the focus. There was some political stuff happening, and it was a lot. It lost me at some point, but due to the unexpected things that happened, it was also a lot of fun. Then we have Zone of Interest. That was tough. It was quite disturbing to watch, but I liked the end. Spoilers, I guess, where it cuts to the museum of the modern day and then it cuts back to the past. The last movie I watched was Crush. It's about this openly out gay girl who has a crush on another girl, and, well, some revelations. For example, that there's always a difference between being in love with someone and being in love with the idea of someone. Then there are 2 movies I rewatched, namely Shoplifters and Nobody Knows, because I made videos about them, which are also already on my channel. Go watch them. Now, onto the shows. I've watched Extraordinary Season 2, Percy Jackson Season 1, Bob's Burgers Season 12 and 13, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 12 and 13, Cruel Summer Season 2, Downton Abbey Season 5, Love is Blind Season 6, Avatar Live Action Season 1, One Day, Blood and Water Season 4, Heartbreak High Season 2, Glee Season 3, and The Birth of the Drama King. Now, Extraordinary is super fun. I love the first season, and the second season totally could keep up, and I'm looking forward to the next season. And Percy Jackson, I watched all of it in one go, like I think in 1 or 2 days, and it just felt like I watched one big movie. I mean, it was okay, I guess. I didn't really grow attached to any characters, so yeah. If there will be a second season, I don't know, I didn't check. I will definitely watch it, but yeah, well, it exists, I guess. Then Bob's Burgers. I love Bob's Burgers. It's like a comfort show because I don't need to use a lot of my brain space to watch it, so it's really, really comforting and relaxing. Then RuPaul's Drag Race. First of all, season 12 and 13 were the first ones I've watched because they were on Netflix, and I have to admit it was a bit hard for me to get into it because the way it's cut. I think it's normal for American reality shows to be cut like that, but it was a bit much for my brain to process. And then we have all these extroverted characters and all these screaming queens, and yeah, it was a lot, but I like it. Took me a moment, but I like it. I definitely want to watch seasons 1 to 11 and any season that came after 13, because now I'm into it. And much like Bob's Burgers, once my brain got accustomed to it, it doesn't take that much brain energy from me anymore, and I really enjoy it.
Get into it.
Next, Cruel Summer season 2 was not it. I remember I liked the first season, but the second season was... I don't know how to say it, but it just tried too hard to be smart, I guess. I don't know, it wasn't good, I'm sorry. I'm glad it's over, I guess. Downton Abbey season 5. It's been a while. I think I actually almost finished it in December, so I watched like the last 2 or 3 episodes in January, so I don't really remember, but it's something I'm watching with a friend. We started it because it also had lots of good reviews, or like people in general talking about it in a very good way, like even my grandma loved it, so I was hyped for the show, but maybe it's the time period. I'm not like super invested. I mean, I enjoy watching it with my friend, but it's not one of my favorites. It's just similar to Percy Jackson. It exists. It's fine. Next, Love is Blind. Guilty pleasure. What can I say? Avatar live action was a bit disappointing, just like many others after the One Piece live action, which I also made a video about. I had high hopes, which maybe was a mistake, because I usually don't go into anything with any exceptions, because if you don't have exceptions, you can't be disappointed. Might be a negative worldview, but it works for me. So yeah, I had expectations, they weren't met. I can't really pinpoint what was lacking for me. I feel like maybe it was because the actors didn't have, like, I don't want to blame the actors. They did a good job. It's not the actors. Never mind. The script. It was a script. I didn't like the script. I recognized some of the jokes from the cartoon, but they just didn't work in the live action for some reason. I think it was the line delivery, perhaps, but I'm not certain. As I said before, I couldn't pinpoint it, but I didn't like it. One Day. The idea was good. The concept was good. The show wasn't good. I didn't like it. I always finished shows I started, because I made the experience if a show or book or whatever lost me in the middle, they still had a chance to get me back at the end, so I always want to finish what I start, which is exhausting because we don't have that much time, but that's how I work. One example is Heroes, which I also made a video about. Go watch it. But yeah, no, I didn't enjoy One Day at all. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. Water season 4, still going strong. I liked it since the first season. It sometimes has telenovela vibes, but that's fine. I don't mind, to be honest. If you're into that kind of stuff, I can recommend it. Heartbreak High. I love the first season. I also love the second season. I didn't like the whole Amity. Amity, is that her name? What's her name? Amory, sorry. I didn't like the whole Amory plot. Amory in general, well, she isn't a... I don't like Amory, but I also don't dislike her. She's actually a good main character, a good morally grey character, but I didn't like her plot. I don't even remember her plot from the first season, but I think I also didn't like her plot back then. I mainly watched it because of my boy Cash, and I was so scared that they were going to do him dirty, or spoilers, I was scared that they were going to kill him, but they didn't. And the whole back and forth with Darren was a bit exhausting, but in the end the two are trying to change themselves for each other, which is a good trade. But yeah, Cash, love him, and it's a good show in general. Next up, Glee season 3. I think I watched the first 2 seasons last year, and then I needed a break. And when I watched season 1 and 2, I didn't realize how bad it is. It did not age well. Now that I've watched season 3, I was like, so they did that, huh? I don't have examples, it's all just bad. But yeah, I'm probably still going to finish it. And the last thing I wanted to mention is a Chinese drama. It's called The Birth of the Drama King. I just started it last week. It has 24 episodes and I've already watched 12, so I'm halfway through, and it's fun. So far, it's fun. It's more of a comedy than a drama. It uses some weird sound effects, which was a bit weird at the beginning, but you get used to it. Like, the sounds quickly disappear into the background. You stop noticing them if you just keep on watching. So far, I can recommend it. I might even make a video about it. Next category, books. I didn't read that much. I'm a slow reader, but I did read Abroad in Japan, which was very insightful. I feel like if few things went differently in my life, I might have taken the same path as Chris. Not in the sense of going to Japan, being a teacher and becoming a YouTuber, but the teacher program he participated in. I think that would have been something I could have done, but I chose something else, so now again. Why do people exist when I make videos? So yeah, I realized that I forgot to explain why it was insightful to me and what the connection to my missed chances. So the reason why I was telling you all this is because while reading the book, I was putting myself in Chris' shoes. And I just thought if I would have taken that path, having a book like the one Chris wrote would have been very helpful, because people tend to romanticize Japan, and knowing the harsh reality, if you will, would have lowered the expectations, I guess. Because some of the things he describes would have been so disillusioning. I don't know if I would have been able to bear it the way Chris did unless I had realistic expectations. See, that's why I need a script, to make sense of my thoughts. Anyways, next book, You 3, or Remnants of Filth in English. Going into it, I was super hyped. I was so looking forward to reading it, like the series in general, but I don't know, it kind of, like, after the first 3 or 4 chapters was already very disappointing, because it's very political, and spoilers, one of the main characters loses their memory, and I feel like it's just different vibes if one of the characters loses their memory. So yeah, a bit disappointing. Still gonna finish it, of course. Next disappointment, Peach Blossom Dead. I heard good stuff about it, and again, I was excited to read it. What's with me and my expectations? I usually don't have expectations. First of all, it was in the first person perspective, and I generally don't like to read from the first person perspective. It's also the first Chinese book I read in the first person perspective. And I'm sorry, but I didn't like the writing. I didn't like the style. It was a bit weird. And I also didn't like the plot. The plot was really stupid. Didn't like it. No. And I read Simon Snow. The 3rd volume, the first 2 I read last year. It was good. It was nice. It's about Simon Snow, who I guess is bisexual. He doesn't seem to know himself, or at least he doesn't want to label it, but which is fine. And a gay vampire. The gay vampire has a crush on him. It's like enemies to lovers, because they don't like each other at first, but then they fall in love, or rather the gay vampire always had a crush on him, but tried to hide it until Simon falls for him. I think I didn't feel the chemistry from Simon's side, because it felt not necessarily rushed, but sudden. It was so sudden, and their relationship is really toxic. I absolutely like Baz. Baz is the gay vampire, and he lets Simon get away with so much shit, where I was like, oh boy, you deserve so much better. Also, the ending didn't really feel like an ending. I feel there were a few things that were left unresolved, so it just doesn't feel finished. It officially is finished, so I finished it. Then I've read Erha, or The Husky and His White Cat Shizun, Volume 4, and I'm currently reading Volume 5. This series is also interesting. Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I absolutely love Chuaning, and Mulan also gets better after Chuaning. Spoilers. After Chuaning died and he learned, like, the truth about his shizun. So it can only get better from here on out, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen, because right now I don't really know what their goal is, to be honest. I do think, however, that I might like it more once I've read all of it. We'll see. For now, it just gets a cautious, it's good from me. I really don't know how to describe it. It's an experience. Just go and read it. It's also a Chinese novel, by the way, so same genre, same tropes, everything. Next up is anime. I didn't watch much, to be honest. I only watched Bungo Stray Dogs Season 5, Mashle Season 2, video in the making, and I'm currently watching Dungeon Meshi. And running the risk of being hated, I kind of feel Dungeon Meshi is a bit boring. I still hope that there's something epic going to happen, but so far it's very repetitive. It's always, there's a monster, we kill the monster, we eat the monster. Marcel, or what the elf's name is, doesn't want to eat the monster. She eats the monster. It's delicious. Every single episode. I'm tired of it. I'm currently at episode 15. There will be 24, but it's still running, so yeah. Next up is manga. I actually managed to read quite a lot of manga. In the last 4 months, surprisingly, to be honest. I read Pink Heart Jam, big recommendation. I love it. It's just 2 volumes, so it's a quick read. It was kind of cozy, very cute. I liked it. Then I read Harukaze no Etranger, volume 6. I absolutely adored the art style, and it's also kind of cute. It had a very, very strong start with the Umibe no Etranger. There's also an anime movie about it. Because I like the plot, I like the characters, it was really cute. Harukaze no Etranger is the sequel, and it's a bit convoluted. It's just like, of course, their daily life, so there's not much action or drama or anything. It's most of the time funny and cute, actually. But at this point, I don't know what's happening anymore. But it's fine, I'll just keep on reading it. Then we have Therapy Game Re. It's the sequel of just Therapy Game. Therapy Game had 2 volumes. Therapy Game has 3 so far. A 4th one will come. I don't know if there will be more. And I also like this very much because the relationship between the 2 characters could be easily toxic, but since they do communicate to an extent and most of the drama is quickly resolved, it never becomes really toxic. I mean, of course they fight sometimes, but as I said before, they do kind of communicate and talk about their problems and solve their problems, and it's kind of cute, and I love the art style. It's one of my favorites. Even if the plot was bad, which it isn't, I would just stare at the drawings because ooh. The next one, and yeah, it's a webcomic, but webcomics, manga, all the same, I don't care. The next I cannot recommend. I absolutely hate it. It's called Jinx. It's very problematic. It's very toxic. Complete opposite of Therapy Game. Complete opposite of Harukaze no Etranger. I hate it. It just doesn't... There are no likable characters. They're all so stupid, including Dr. Dan. I feel no pity. I'm sorry, but no. The first season just finished a few weeks ago, and there's thankfully only 1 more season planned, so I will be able to finish it, even though it's a pain, and I hate it. I don't think it will get me in the end. Nothing. The boxer guy, I don't know his name and I don't care about his name. There's nothing he can do to redeem himself. Ugh. Another webcomic I read was The Ghost's Nocturne. Maybe a tiny bit problematic, but I liked it a lot more than Jinx, and it becomes less problematic the more the plot progresses. Ooh, and the art style again, amazing. A feast for the eyes. Another manga I read was Nagahama To Be or Not To Be. It's just 1 volume. It's cute, simple, a nice and easy read. Was fun. And then we have I Hear the Sunspot, the sequel of the sequel, called 4 Seasons. Currently there are 2 volumes, I think. A 3rd one is planned. I don't know if there are more planned. I already thought I Hear the Sunspot Limited was the final series of that series, but no, it's still going on. It's amazing how much plot the mangaka is able to extract from the 2 without causing a lot of unnecessary drama. It's really just cute. And then I have a few ongoing mangas that I'm reading, those being Boku no Hero Academia, Servamp, Bungo Stray Dogs, Owari no Seraph. Oh, I hope it finishes soon. It's been going on way too long. Same for Boku no Hero, to be honest. The fight is just dragging. Should come to an end. Whatever. I have an official's blessing, 19 days, and I forgot the name. A Moonlit Spring River. I really like it. I can't really tell you why. I also like the art style, even though it's very peculiar. It feels so easy and flowy. I really like to look at the pictures, even if they're not always anatomically correct. And the story is also like similar to you. It's quite political, but it's kind of easier for the brain. It's not as heavy. So yeah, I really enjoy it. And last category, games. I've only played one and I haven't even finished it. I just started it, and that's Digimon Survive. I've played 3 or 4 chapters so far and I really love it. It feels more like watching an anime, or more like a... what's it called? The game novels. What are the game novels called? Visual novel. It's like a visual novel. For me, in visual novels you still have more interactions, but for Digimon it's more like an anime with a few clicks, and then you have the exploration phase, which is fun. But which I honestly didn't expect, I really love the battles. I'm always hyped when I can battle. Even though I hate strategy games, I unexpectedly always look forward to the game. So during the visual novel part of the game, I'm always like, when can I fight again? I want to fight again! I love fights. So that's the media I consumed in the last 4 months. I honestly can't tell if it's a lot or not. I guess it also depends on how much time a person has. I don't have a lot of time, so for me it feels like it's a lot. Honestly, when I made this list I was like, damn, when did I watch and read all this? How about you? Do you know any of the things I've consumed? Have you watched or read any of this, or played Digimon Survive? If you did, let me know in the comments below. Maybe we can connect. Maybe we can bond. I don't know if I should say that. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!